If you want to go on safari in India, this video is for you. In today's Safari Insights video, I'm going to be breaking down how I spent 16 days exploring the tiger reserves of central India. I'm going to talk about where we went, what we did, where we stayed, and most importantly, how I did it. But before we jump into it, opening sequence. Hello wildlife watchers, welcome back for an all new Safari Insights video. If you're new to the channel here, my name is Jeff Heyer and I'm a safari travel advisor. I am somebody that arranges custom tailored itineraries for people interested in visiting wildlife destinations all around the world. I'm really excited to be highlighting a new destination here on the channel, India. Now the big question is why go on safari in India? The big draw is, of course, the Bengal tiger. India is home to over 75% of the world's wild tigers, and now there's about 58 tiger reserves that provide sanctuary, protected habitat for their species to survive. Tigers are the world's largest cat species, and they're arguably one of the most magnificent animals. Seeing them in the wild is simply a dream come true. Now, it's not just tigers you can find in these environments. You can also find leopards, sloth bears, wild dogs, gores, all kinds of primate species, birds galore, and some parks even have wild elephants. The habitat here is very forested. It's pretty much like going on a woodland safari. This itinerary I'm about to present to you isn't all about the wildlife. Although that is the main emphasis, we also involve some other elements to our trip plan. This would include some cultural experiences and of course visiting iconic sites like the Taj Mahal. These are add-ons that we can include in your trip. Just so all of you know, I'm on a mini tiger safari right now. This is my audience. Aren't they cute? They're like little tiger cubs. I'm going to talk about your cousins in India, okay? They seem bored of my conversation. Now, the trips I promote and I organize for clients are ones that I've had firsthand. I love going to new destinations, understanding what they're like, experiencing them for myself so I can best recommend how to craft your trip if you want to go there yourself. If you want to experience wild India, please reach out to me. All you have to do is scan the QR code that I'm going to have linked here, or you can find the first contact link in the description below. Fill out the form, let me know what kind of trip you're envisioning, send it my way, and we'll go from there. And maybe you're just in the initial stages of trip planning, you're curious to know what a trip like this is like. That's what this video is here for. A little bit of context for you before we dive in. This trip took place in the months of February and March, which proved to be a very ideal time to go on safari here. This is during dry season where the visibility is a bit clearer and the weather is a bit more predictable. It's also not too unbearably hot during the day like other times of year. One thing to keep in mind is that safaris in India are quite seasonal. While you can plan a trip here all year round, it can be quite limiting and difficult during the monsoon season, during the heavy rains, and that takes place during the months of June through September. Just something to keep in mind if you want the optimal conditions for tiger viewing. All right, that's enough context. Let's start with the itinerary breakdown now, starting with day one. Our journey began by flying into Delhi. Once we cleared customs, we were met by our driver outside the airport who transferred us directly to our first hotel, the Roseate Hotel in Aero City. This was the perfect place to recover from the long flight, adjust to the time zone, and prepare for the adventure ahead. It was only 15 minutes from the airport, which made it convenient and a comfortable choice. Aero City itself has great restaurants and a lively atmosphere, providing a gentle introduction to India. It's here we enjoyed our kickoff meal in a very on-theme restaurant with some live entertainment. On day two, we made our journey to the tiger reserves. We transferred back to the Delhi airport and flew to the city of Nagpur. This was a short and sweet flight that was under 2 hours, and when we arrived at the airport, we spotted our first tiger. I'm joking, of course, they were just photos and sculptures, but we were really excited nonetheless. From there, we transferred to Tadoba, one of India's premier tiger reserves. The drive took about 3 hours, which gave us a first glimpse of rural India.
Namaste.
We are in rural India. Our first safari stay was at the Wagoba Eco Lodge. This luxury lodge had spacious and cool rooms, excellent cuisine, a bird photography hide, and a serene atmosphere. We're in India.
We're here.
Can you believe it, Shelly?
Honestly, you've got to pinch me.
Days 3 and 4 were full day safari experiences in Tadoba and Dari Tiger Reserve. Tadoba offers the quintessential India safari. Our days were structured to have morning and afternoon game drives, each taking place in a different zone of the reserve, which meant that each drive was in a unique area in different tiger territories. Just so you're aware, inside the tiger reserves, there are multiple zones. Each time you enter for your game drive, you're going to be assigned a different zone that you get to explore. You're only allowed to explore that area with your permit. This means at the front gate, there might be a lot of vehicles, a lot of eco-travelers, but as soon as you enter, you're all going to disperse in different areas. What I found is that there's about 15 to 25 vehicles in each zone, just to give you a sense of how busy it might feel. This is also why it's good to spend multiple days in each of these reserves, because you'll get to explore a lot of different areas. Now, our first day was focused on these core zones, which is the most intact forest, and the second day was spent exploring the buffers. This is where farmland gradually transitions into dense forest. There are some days when the core zones might be closed, but the buffer zones are not something to sleep on. It's still tiger habitat, and there's lots of potential for sightings there. We couldn't believe that after just 1 hour into our first drive, we spotted our first tiger.
How's you feeling seeing your first tiger?
Oh my gosh, I'm not processing it. It's unbelievable. I have no words.
These animals are magnificent every sense of the word. Our guide, Ame, brought so much context to the ecology here and greatly enhanced our experience, and this is why this is the hill I'll die on guides are so important. All the guiding we had was excellent, especially Ame. Shout out to him. I'm not sure if it's just our luck, but after talking to other travelers and wildlife watchers, we all agreed that tiger sightings in Tadoba are very frequent and promising. We spotted 11 tigers in 2 days. It seemed like they were falling out of trees. Now, wildlife sightings are not at all predictable, but sightings here are quite common. We're now on to day 5. After Tadoba, we drove about 3.5 hours to our next tiger reserve, Pench National Park. Checking in.
We made it.
We made it.
Made it to Pench.
It was so exciting to check into the Pench Tree Lodge, which would serve as our base camp for exploring the reserve. Pench is famed for its connection to Kipling's Jungle Book. It's believed that this is the forest that inspired that story. Whether or not that's totally accurate, there are several characters in the Jungle Book that are based on species native here. Quick mention, the lodges we stayed at had some incredible candlelit dinner settings. Ambiance was in full swing and the flavors never missed. And that's a huge highlight of this experience. It's not just about the wildlife, it's also about the accommodation and the food. The food was absolutely delectable. We experienced probably about 100 new ingredients and flavors and spices each day.
How we doing, Jeff?
Really good. Feeling cozy.
Mm-hmm.
Days 6 and 7 were full days exploring Pench. This park is especially known for its leopards, which we were lucky enough to spot one. We also saw Indian wild dogs, which are called dholes, on 2 occasions. That was really special. Now, something to note about Indian safaris, none of the lodges or camps are inside the reserves. So you always have to drive to the gates from wherever you're staying. Depending on your location, the drives are typically 20 to 40 minutes. Now, I mention this because something about the drive into Pench was so gorgeous. It really resonated with us. We could look over wheat and mustard fields and catch sunset before returning to our lodge each evening. Next, we headed to Kanha Tiger Reserve and checked into the Kanha Earth Lodge, a cozy property celebrated for its locally inspired cuisine. Kanha is one of the original tiger reserves in India, and it carries a strong sense of history and conservation ethos. On day 9 and 10, we explored the areas of Kanha that are accessible to tourism. Something interesting about these reserves is only about 20 to 30% of them are accessible to tourists. This means that majority of these protected zones are fully for the nature, fully undisturbed, but it's amazing that we do have the chance to access a few limited areas without overrunning them or putting too much pressure on the environment. This reserve provided some of the most memorable sightings of the trip. We witnessed a female tiger stalking a herd of deer, a very tense and rare moment. We were so fortunate to catch this sighting, and I couldn't believe what we were seeing. It was tense, powerful, and unforgettable. We saw an attempted tiger hunt.
Just like...
We also spotted tons of barazinga, also known as swamp deer. This is a species unique to Kanha. The barazinga is a species that nearly went extinct. Thanks to careful conservation efforts in India, populations are now in the thousands, and they've started rewilding them in other reserves in the country. All those conservation projects to increase their populations took place originally here in Kanha. In between drives, we spent time walking the trails at our lodge. These led to beautiful butterfly gardens and their on-site produce orchard. These lodges pride themselves on farm-to-table fresh cuisine, which is the best kind of eating if you ask me. They grow all kinds of food here and dish it up for all the meals. It is feel-good food, and that is something I absolutely love about these stays. A lot of the food is sourced right from the garden, picked there that day, and then incorporated in the meals.
The staff here at this lodge, 10 out of 10. This is the A team right here. We're gonna miss our friends here.
I know. So we're just enjoying one final moment here on the patio, enjoying the nature sounds. But the adventures are not over yet. We're going to our last stop on our safari itinerary here in central India. We are going to Bandhavgarh. Now on to day 11. After Kanha, we traveled 4 hours to Bandhavgarh National Park and checked into the treehouse hideaway. Staying in a treehouse adds a playful yet immersive element to the safari experience. It felt like we were first-class Mowgli. Whoa.
We love it!
Moving on to day 12, which was a very special day of our trip, the Holi Festival. Now today we took a break from the safaris because our timing coincided with Holi, the festival of colors where the nation celebrates love, light, and the defeat of evil. Because of the holiday, the park was closed, so the lodge hosted a mini Holi celebration. Experiencing this cultural moment amid the wilderness was a beautiful and unique part of the trip. A group of local drummers came to our lodge, performed for us, and all the guests here and the staff started spreading vibrant colors. I ended up completely covered in pink powder, which stayed on my face for several days. It really stained. So just a warning, if you use the pink color dust. Turns out a lot of people found this to be a big source of entertainment. It kind of looked like I had a severe sunburn for a few days. I looked like Patrick Star from SpongeBob. I looked like one of the X-Men. Nonetheless, it was totally worth it because spreading color and joy around in this setting with these people was something magical. It was really cool to be here on this national holiday, so if you want to time your trip around Holi, definitely recommend it. On day 13, we were back on safari, this time in the reserve of Bandhavgarh. Something unique about this park is the presence of wild elephants. Each reserve shares the common thread of big cat sightings, but Bandhavgarh's combination of dense forests, mountains, and resident elephants provided a distinctive and memorable safari. We're on day 14 now, stay with me. Now our original plan was to drive about 3.5 hours from the treehouse hideaway to the closest airport and fly up to Delhi. From Delhi, we're gonna drive then to Agra to experience the Taj Mahal. Kind of a last minute change, but we decided to do the full road trip version, so we canceled our flights and decided to drive directly from Bandhavgarh to Agra. This was definitely a long, full day's journey, but honestly, we loved it. It was a great chance for us to look out the window, get an honest look at India, and witness a lot more than just the wildlife parks. Believe it or not, the time it takes to do all the steps I mentioned with the flights included pretty much equals the drive if you decide to go that route. It might be a bit windier, a bit longer of a day, but that is definitely an option for you if you want to connect these two locations. Nonetheless, we arrived in busy Agra and checked into the Taj Hotel. Now, as the name implies, this was in close proximity to the iconic Taj Mahal and other UNESCO World Heritage Sites that we were here to explore.
We've got a wild Jeff Hire here in his booties.
Day 15. While not part of the safari, visiting the Taj Mahal was an essential cultural experience we weren't going to miss while in India. This was a day dedicated to touring the ancient city and temples of Agra. Our amazing guide Adi took us around for the day. He led us into the Taj Mahal, and to avoid hot temperatures and enjoy the best lighting of this monument, we left the hotel at 6 a.m. Witnessing this monument was such a special part of the trip. I think anyone who has this vision of India sees the Taj Mahal in it. You know so much about this place, you think about it your whole life, especially if you have wanderlust like me, and to be there, standing in front of it and go inside of it is quite transcending. If you want to check this off your bucket list, it's a great add-on to the safari itineraries we offer. Shout out to Adi for taking all the photos of us this morning.
This is the best guide you could ever get at the Taj Mahal. Sorry everybody, we've got the best.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
On our final day, we returned by driving 4 hours back to Delhi, where we came full circle with the Roseate Hotel. Our last evening was a chance to reflect on the adventure, review photographs, and savor one last taste of India before departing the next day. And that's a wrap on today's Safari Insights video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown and found it valuable in your travel planning. Witnessing wild tigers, standing in front of the Taj Mahal, this was definitely an experience I will never forget. If you want to explore more insight videos like this, please hit subscribe. And don't forget, if you want to explore India yourself and receive a personalized itinerary with the quote and all the inclusions, please reach out to me. To kickstart the plan making process, all you have to do is scan the QR code or find my contact link in the description below. I look forward to hearing from you and sending you on a transcending journey through India. Thanks so much for supporting my content. Namaste. I'll see you for the next video.